Hey, welcome back, tribe, to the NASW Code of Ethics breakdown. This is section 5 of Social Workers' Ethical Responsibilities to the Social Work Profession. 5.01, Integrity of the Profession. A, social workers should work toward the maintenance and promotion of high standards of practice. Again, this is what we're part of. This is like the team, the profession, right? We want to make sure that, we're upkeeping our standard of excellence. B, social workers should uphold and advance the values, ethics, knowledge, and mission of the profession. Social workers should protect, enhance, and improve the integrity of the profession through appropriate study and research and responsible criticism of the profession. So kind of like I did in the last breakdown, where it's a responsible criticism of it, where again, we just want to improve. Things are constantly changing, and especially how we, talk about technology and other things, right? We just want to make sure that the profession continues to grow. And one way we do that is by contributing to these discussions, research, everything, and not just kind of being on the sidelines. C, social workers should contribute time and professional expertise to activities that promote respect for the value, integrity, and competence of the social work profession. These activities may include teaching, research, consultation, service, legislative testimony, presentations in the community, and participation in their professional organizations. So again, giving our time, giving back to the field as a whole. D, social workers should contribute to the knowledge base of social work and share with colleagues their knowledge related to practice, research, and ethics. Social workers should seek to contribute to the profession's literature and to share their knowledge at professional meetings and conferences. So again, all this is to advance the profession and for it to continue to grow and become better and better. E, social workers should act to prevent the unauthorized and unqualified practice of social work. So again, we want to make sure that, any services being provided are within appropriate ethical, standards, nothing that's unauthorized or unqualified. 5.02, evaluation and research. A, social workers should monitor and evaluate policies, the implementation of programs, and practice interventions. So again, all of this just to make sure that while we're progressing, these programs and everything as a whole, we're evaluating them to see if we're getting the outcome that we want and making any of the needed adjustments to improve it. B, social workers should promote and facilitate evaluation and research to contribute to the development of knowledge. So again, continuing to push the profession forward. C, social workers should critically examine and keep current with emerging knowledge relevant to social work and fully use evaluation and research evidence in their professional practice. So again, we want to make sure that the services being provided are knowledge-based, they've been researched, and they've been proven based off of the data and everything. So again, just living up to that standard of excellence. D, social workers engaged in evaluation or research should carefully consider possible consequences and should follow guidelines developed for the protection of evaluation and research participants. Appropriate institutional review boards should be consulted. So again, we want to make sure that everything's being provided ethically. We're adhering to all the guidelines, the policies. We're not just winging it, and being aware of the potential consequences to the participants and just as a whole that could come with it. E, social workers engaged in evaluation or research should obtain voluntary and written informed consent from participants when appropriate, without any implied or actual deprivation or penalty for refusal to participate. So we don't want to say, if you don't do this, you get this consequence type of thing, without undue inducement to participate, and with due regard to participants' well-being, privacy, and dignity. Informed consent should include information about the nature, extent, and duration of participation requested and disclosure of the risk and benefits of participation in the research. So again, just keeping them in the loop, well informed, how long is this going to last, what's going on, we want to keep them in a loop. We don't want to mislead or, have anyone feel like they've been hoodwinked or anything like that. Again, even though they're technically not like our clients or anything, we don't want to cause any confusion or anything. We want them to have a full understanding of what they're signing up for, how we're going to use this information, etc. F, When using electronic technology to facilitate evaluation of research, social workers should ensure that participants provide informed consent for the use of such technology. Social workers should assess whether participants are able to use the technology and, when appropriate, offer reasonable alternatives to participate in the evaluation of research. So again, whenever it comes to technology, we want to make sure that they're aware of the risks, the benefits, how to utilize it, and make any adjustments as needed. G, when evaluation of research participants are incapable of giving informed consent, so again, that's permission to engage in whatever the service, whatever the activity is, social workers should provide an appropriate explanation to the participants, obtain the participants' assent to the extent they are able, and obtain written consent from an appropriate proxy. So again, appropriate proxy could be, the spouse, caregiver, whoever it may be, but we just want to make sure that it's appropriate. H, social workers should never design or conduct evaluation or research that does not use consent procedures, such as certain forms of naturalistic observation and archival research, unless rigorous and responsible review of the research have found it to be justified because of its prospective scientific, educational, or applied value, and unless equally effective alternative procedures that do not involve waiver or consent are not feasible. So again, we always want to get consent, keep the participants in the loop, and we want to make sure that what we're using, has some backing behind it. It's not like, again, they're saying here, naturalistic observations and archival research, unless rigorous and responsible review of the research has found it to be justified because of its prospective scientific, educational, or applied value, and unless equally effective alternative procedures that do not involve waiver of consent are not feasible. Meaning, like, again, it's backed. It's not just us just doing it type of thing. There's a reason behind it. There's data. There's some type of evidence that supports this. I, social workers should inform participants of their right to withdraw from evaluation and research at any time without penalty. So just kind of letting them know, like, hey, at any time, if you want to back out, if you don't feel comfortable, you can do so. You're not going to face any consequences or penalty. J, social workers should take appropriate steps to ensure that participants in evaluation and research have access to appropriate supportive services. So, depending on what it is, we want to make sure that they have the appropriate support and, again, anything that they may need. K, social workers engaged in evaluation and research should protect participants from unwarranted physical or mental distress, harm, danger, or deprivation. So again, we don't want to put them at risk of anything detrimental to their health. So we just want to be mindful of that. L, social workers engaged in the evaluation of services should discuss collected information only for professional purposes and only with people professionally concerned with this information. So just letting them know this information isn't going to be like, hey, check this out, Joe Schmo or anyone like that. It's for professional reasons. M, social workers engaged in evaluation of research should ensure the anonymity or confidentiality of participants and of the data obtained from them. Social workers should inform participants of any limits of confidentiality, the measures that will be taken to ensure confidentiality, and when any records containing research data will be destroyed. So again, really keeping in a loop about just how all this information is going to be utilized and when, certain things are going to be done. And again, just keeping the participants in the loop. N, social workers who report evaluation and research results should protect participants' confidentiality by omitting identifying information unless proper consent has been obtained, authorizing disclosure. So again, confidentiality, making sure that their private information is protected. O, social workers should report evaluation and research findings accurately. They should not fabricate or falsify results and should take steps to correct any errors later found in published data using standard publication methods. So again, we don't want to, again, falsify or add any fluff or anything like that. We want it to be accurate. P, social workers engaged in evaluation of research should be alert to and avoid conflicts of interest and dual relationships with participants, should inform participants when a real or potential conflict of interest arises, and should take steps to resolve the issue in a manner that makes the participants' interest primary. So again, notice how, again, they're not clients, but with our participants, we're putting our best foot forward. We're keeping them in the loop with everything. We're not crossing any boundaries. We don't want anything influencing anything, right? We just want to keep that clear, appropriate boundaries. NQ. Social workers should educate themselves, their students, and their colleagues about responsible research practices. So again, anytime that, there's going to be research being done, we want to make sure that, hey, we keep everyone in the loop, especially when we have experience doing it. We're like, hey, this is how you want to proceed. You want to watch out for this. You want to be mindful of that. So again, it's just for the betterment of the profession and the participants as a whole. Okay, tribe, that's it for today's video. That was section 5 of the NASW Code of Ethics breakdown. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a social work friend, because we don't want to be licensed by ourselves. All right, tribe, I'll see you next video. Bye.